Everyone. Excuse me for adjusting. This is not the camera angle that was showing when I started. I'll give everyone a second to join anyways. But welcome to Spirituality in Sin City. I am Rachel Hoyt, artist and writer. And first, I would love you to see that this book was chosen for my art project because it's already super messed up. This is my nice Bible on the bottom, so please don't hate me for I'm about to rip some Bible pages for my art project. In fact, I'm going to pick randomly. Got my eyes closed here. Let's see what we get. Ooh, Hosea, that's one I haven't done in a long time. Proverbs, always a fab one to use. And Chronicles, who doesn't like First Chronicles? So, what this show is going to be about is, I'm letting you into a little bit of my morning art time, just for some visual pleasure. And I am also going to be discussing the things that I learn doing my spiritual research for, I'm researching tarot specifically, but signs and symbols and how they've appeared throughout history, how we've treated them, how long they've lasted, where did they come from, who gave them meaning, things like that. So we're going to start today with a little bit of playing card and tarot card history, so you know where I'm coming from. So playing cards and tarot cards were invented around the same time, 15th century, mid 1400s, and they were both used for games, first and foremost, games. So if you think the tarot cards were invented to read future, you're incorrect. That's the first thing you need to know. Second thing you need to know is that both playing cards and tarot cards came to be used for doing divination, for reading the future, answering questions, around the same time. I didn't know that for a long time, but that is the gist of what started me down my research path, combined with the fact that I was fairly devout Christian. I was very devout Christian growing up, and then I felt like I was seeing signs in the cards and thought that was really weird and could be bad. And what am I doing? Why would I explore such a thing? But I just didn't have any evil feelings about it, even though I prayed. So, excuse me, one moment. I want to turn off. Just realized I left a fan on in the background, maybe causing some background noise for you. So, I started seeing signs in the cards, and it was playing cards while I was playing poker. And I thought it was really weird. I didn't know that such things existed. And I eventually wandered upon this book, which I found at a thrift store or estate sale. I can't quite remember, but I did not steal it from the library. I bought it from someone who I guess did, or bought it from the library, I hope, after they stopped giving it out. Didn't have a library card in it anymore. Anyhow, obviously I feel really bad about stealing books. I love books. And if you missed the intro where I said, where I showed this, I am tearing up an already torn up Bible that I bought at a thrift store for this purpose. So please don't hate me for defaming the Bible. But I will get to the reason why I'm putting it here. I'm just going to be figuring out what placement I want to do with this. Anyhow, so I started seeing signs in the cards and eventually learned that both tarot cards and playing cards were invented around the same time, first used for games and then came to be used for divination, for fortune telling. Oops, I'm off camera, for fortune telling. So I thought it was weird that I would be led to see such things. I felt bad about that, prayed about that. And anyhow, we are going to if you like, join me on my spiritual path and what it has become. I have started to learn all kinds of things about how the church has. Uh, they were involved in gambling at the around the beginning. The Pope did hold lotteries. The Pope and uh, several popes were very involved in. Governments had used a raffle kind of a system to uh, raise money for things that needed to be done for a long time, but uh, it eventually turned into the lotto as we know it today, and the Pope was very uh, involved in getting that started, to say the least. I originally have was spreading the false information that he started the lottery. Um, First and foremost, he was the very first person to start the lottery. I swear I've read that a bunch of places, but that's part of the reason for this show as well. I will be showing you the actual documents, the originals that I have found. And speaking of that, and how the church has been involved over the years, so way back when, kind of when playing cards were first coming out, there were these books that were called block books. And this is one page from the Biblia Paupernum. I doubt I am pronouncing that correct, but I've printed it out off of the public domain. And I tried to translate it for all of us this morning with Google Translate, but Google can't see the words and it can't translate them. It tried like 6 different translations. I personally tried to type this part into the computer, though I had a really hard time reading it, and it came out saying, "Hello, blue color friend." So, I'm not sure that is correct, but I might like to translate these pages in the future if I can. If you speak Latin or read Latin and want to help me out, let me know. Leave me a comment. Anyhow, this Biblia Paupernum is considered kind of one of the transition products, if you will, towards tarot cards. As you might be able to see, the images are kind of in a tall vertical panel. You could cut them out and put them onto tarot cards. And as these block books developed, though they only made it a couple of years, literally like less than 5 years, because people started printing on playing cards. But as they developed, another book came out called the Tarocchi de Mantegna, or at least that's what we call it today. Some people also call it the Baldini cards, but these images were in a block book as well. And they were just one page and nothing on the other side of the page, because by that point, block books had been made so that you could tear out the pages and use them for instructional games. And I do say games because they were games when tarot cards, as they were transitioning to being read as fortunes. Here's another one of my favorites from the Tarocchi de Mantegna. As they were transitioning into actual cards, the first way that people read fortunes was to play solitaire. Solitaire as we know it today, a single player game where you deal out the cards in some sort of fun format. And in that day and age, if you were able to win the game and finish the game of solitaire, then your answer to your question was yes. And if you did not finish the game, then the answer to your question was no, you were unsuccessful at solitaire. So that's how they started out doing divination before it developed into a bunch of different things. So before I forget, the Tarocchi de Mantegna that I am here decorating, no one knows exactly where it came from. And there's but there seems to be only one primary theory, and that is that Pope Pius II and a couple of other Catholic bishops and one other person, I have to grab from the side here, that they may have designed these, that the Pope may have commissioned this deck of cards, which might be the very first deck of tarot cards ever. Now, the other contender for first deck of tarot cards ever is what I'm grabbing. Whoa! Hold please. My phone decided to jump out of the my phone just jumped out of the thing here. Wow. Guess we'll have to work on this setup. Whew. Okay. Let's see. Excuse me, I'm seeing your comments here now. I hope you're still here. I'm going to be teaching we're going to be reviewing all kinds of scriptures and all kinds of spiritual history, not just the Bible, but yes, a little bit of the Bible. I do have a particular verse open for today on purpose. Dang it, I cannot get this thing to go where I want it to go. Okay. Please stay, phone. Please stay. Okay, so the other contender for first tarot deck ever, besides Pope Pius II possibly commissioning this deck to teach we don't know what, other contender is the Visconti Sforza tarot deck, which is where these playing card backs came from. And I can't remember, Francisco, I believe it is, Visconti or Sforza, one of the people responsible for this deck, was present at the commission that people believe this deck might have been created at. So Pope Pius II had called a bunch of people to Mantua, to a council at Mantua, in order to try to talk them into another crusade. And one of the people who attended was the man who created this deck, who supposedly was trying to convince Pope Pius II not to have the crusade. So the opponent to the potential creator of this one, these two are the possible first tarot deck ever. These images versus these images. And they were possibly people who might have made them were together at the same time. And excuse the background noise, this is my cat whirring around in her giant hamster wheel. So therefore, because Pope Pius may have been the one who commissioned this deck, I think it's super appropriate to find a way to add some Bible verses and words of God to this collage artwork that I am making. Because, yeah, religion and tarot have been mixed together, may have been mixed together, despite what we think. Religion and gambling as a way of figuring out an answer, 100% have been together. So, where's my other book? That I came with. I did not have time to look up the exact document today because I woke up a little late, but I've read it 100 different places that Bishop Wiebold of Cambria, France, used a dice game to spread the gospel. A dice game. He created a list of 56 virtues, one for each possible throw of three dice. In this game, the caster threw the dice, noted the result, and looked up the corresponding virtue, then meditated on it for a certain time. So they definitely used what, sounds very, very similar to divination in a way to figure out a answer from God, ponder a question, and it was recommended by the Bishop of France. So to think that these might have been commissioned by the Pope in order to spread his message to the people is not totally crazy. But there's not tons and tons of evidence. I've been looking, I've found a tiny bit, and we'll go over it another time. But before I head out, I am going to give you a verse of the day. Normally, I'm going to choose these based on the card of the day, which I will draw here in a minute. But I think I had a different one in mind. Oh, this is good. I was going to talk about how we were told, then you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free, and had that marked. And then I just thought I was going to check what I had marked with my ancient bookmark, and I came across something I don't remember reading before that I found even more interesting, especially for this day and age. And I wanted to talk about it because the purpose of this series, these live sessions, will be to go over scriptures and to learn and to seek the truth. But I'm going to be seeking the truth everywhere. This is for people who want to open their mind, because I don't think that you can dismiss someone else's scripture without having any idea really what's in it. And therefore, I always try to read the original source. So, and I've had a hard time starting this vlog and doing this because it's not widely accepted. And so that's why I guess I've decided to share it with everyone, because I don't want everyone to have as hard of a time as I have had getting to this point and realizing that I will never understand everything. None of us knows everything. No one on earth does. And I don't care what religion you believe in, or if you don't believe in God. I mean, the thought that we know everything and understand everything is just ridiculous. You could meet one new person today, and I bet they can tell you something that you don't know. So therefore, you didn't know everything. Already proven. I don't think I need to go further than that. We're not omniscient. So the more that we get together and discuss together and read each other's scriptures and try to see from the other side, the more we can connect and the more we can know. And it's very hard to accept that we don't know it all and to stay at that point. So doing it together can be the way. And on that, I will read now, finally, what I found in Philippians 2:14. Do everything without complaining or arguing, so that you may become blameless and pure children of God, without fault in a crooked and depraved generation, in which you shine like stars in the universe, as you hold out the word of life, in order that I may boast on the day of Christ that I did not run or labor for nothing. So I think a lot of us complain in this day and age, especially there's a lot of complaining out there in regards to religious freedom. And so I think that was a good reminder that not complaining is what makes your light shine from within. So on that note, let's get a card of the day before we go. And please do leave me a comment if you have some ideas for what you might like to learn about next, some questions you want answered, things you don't know about another religion, about tarot, about spirituality, etc. That's what I'm here for. I want to be everybody's researcher. I have my focus, but I love going on tangents. I'm a very curious person. So, awesome deck. What advice do you have for us today? What do we need to hear? Oh, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. I think that's kind of a great way for us to start. In general, I feel this card is all about duplicity, which is not a very kind thing. But in this case, I think we're bringing out the kind side of the meaning of this card. If both my friends and my quote unquote enemies, I don't want to have any enemies. I want us all to be friends. I want this place to be about the love. And it's kind of saying that's the best way. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Get to know them. If you don't know them, you can't defend yourself against them properly, if you want to think about it that way. And you certainly can't befriend them if you don't take the time to understand their point of view. So that is the theme for today. And I will be back tomorrow with a bit more. I have several more documents from long ago. We're talking 1500s to 1800s. And I will be previewing a new one every day. I'm going to be here 7:07 a.m. every day this week, five days. If you get me to 500 followers before Friday, then I will do a Saturday show as well. And I have, more things like this Mystic Test book, which, you might want to see some of these diagrams before I go, so you know why I'm so intrigued by it. This thing it has some crazy, interesting information. I don't want to give it all away. I have a dozen more fascinating things saved like that. Full binder of charts on the Kabbalah and all kinds of other symbols and systems to go over with you. Again, apologies for the cat whirring on her giant hamster wheel in the background. I hope it's not so loud. But I hope you have an awesome day, and I hope to see you here tomorrow at 7:07. Please do press like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.